So that was quite a show put on by Donald Trump's lawyers at today's session of the impeachment trial. Let's do a quick recap and let's continue to ask ourselves, is there any chance at the end of this circus that we are going to see anything that approximates justice? Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So yes, I've got the tie on, I've got the earbuds in. Let me tell you why things are a little bit different today. We just finished today's impeachment hearings, been watching all day, and I am between appearances at the moment. So as an NBC News and MSNBC legal analyst, I go on various NBC platforms. So you may know, obviously there's MSNBC and NBC News, and then there's also the Peacock streaming service, part of the NBC News family. There's also News Now streaming service with Allison Morris, and that's who I just finished up appearing with, and I'm going back on in a few minutes. So that's why I'm dressed a little bit more formally than I ordinarily would be in these daily videos. I just want to try to touch on a few of the things that we saw in today's remarkable presentation by the defense and question and answer session. First of all, my overriding impression is Donald Trump's defense lawyer, this Van der Veen character, is a real piece of work. He's a Philly lawyer, and I love Philly, having grown up in New Jersey, spent a lot of time in Philly, but this guy did not do Philly lawyers proud. He was insulting, he was disparaging, he was alienating, he was offensive, and he wouldn't even answer questions posed by the Republican senators. He was so dismissive of questions by Senator Collins, Senator Murkowski, Senator Romney, and it was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment to all lawyering. I've seen lawyers like this, smug and, Mr. Smarty Pants, pleased with himself. There is no judge in there to call his bluff and to tell him, sir, answer the question. So he just started running wild. And what he did was he alienated everybody in the Senate chamber, and I predict everybody who was watching on television. It's not going to win him many points. Of course, given that the fix may be in with the Republican senators / jurors, it may not matter. But let me just take on some of what he was claiming. First of all, he kept talking about the Brandenburg test. The Brandenburg test protects Donald Trump's speech. It is First Amendment protected speech, so you can't punish him. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Here is what the Brandenburg test stands for. There are 3 elements, right? First of all, if you use words that encourage violence, either expressly, like go kill that guy, or implicitly, like, hey, you see that guy down there? You might want to get after him. Or expressly or implicitly, Donald Trump used his words in both ways. Expressly, get down there and fight, 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 and stop what's going on at the U.S. Capitol. And he said all sorts of things that implicitly encouraged violence. That's element 1. So he loses Brandenburg protection there. Element 2, did his words intend lawless action? Check. Yes, they did. Element 3, were his words reasonably likely to result in imminent lawless action? Yes, because they did result in imminent lawless and deadly action. He does not enjoy First Amendment protection under the Brandenburg case. And here's what I love. Van der Veen actually got up and said, and when Rudy at the rally said, let's go down there and have trial by combat, and Donald Trump approvingly cited Rudy's speech to the angry mob, here is how Van der Veen defended his client. He said, when Rudy said trial by combat, that was just Rudy being Rudy. I wonder if this guy, if he is representing a murder defendant, said, my client may have killed somebody, but that's just killers being killers. So he was not really good at the lawyering thing. A couple other things. When you consider the following 4 factors, Donald Trump is guilty all day long. Number 1, before the election was ever held, Donald Trump said, if I lose this election, it will have been rigged, it will have been fixed, it will have been fraudulent, it will have been stolen from me before the election was even conducted. He was setting up this insurrection. He was setting up circumstances whereby he could unlawfully hold on to power. He was forecasting that. He was signaling it even before the election. Then when he lost, what did he do? He went to the Georgia state election officials and told them to fraudulently declare him the winner. Find me 11,000 some odd votes. Just find me one more vote than I need to win, and then declare the election for me. That was a crime. Thank goodness Georgia has opened a criminal investigation, and I predict they will charge him. Third thing, he told Mike Pence to corruptly throw the election to him during the vote certification process on January 6th. And when Mike Pence wouldn't, Donald Trump launched the angry mob on the Capitol to take it by force, to stop what was going on in that building. That's an action word. Get down there and stop it by any means necessary. Donald Trump is guilty, 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 and guilty of inciting an insurrection. But here's what I'm going to finish up with, folks. If the Republican senators want more insurrections in the future, then vote not guilty. Because a vote to acquit Donald Trump virtually guarantees that the next wannabe dictator, the next aspiring autocrat, will try to overthrow the government all over again. Because a not guilty vote in this trial says it's okay to try to unlawfully retain power, to try to overthrow the U.S. government, to try to stop the duly elected incoming administration from taking power. That's what a not guilty vote does. And if the Republican senators want yet another insurrection in the future, then by all means acquit Donald Trump. I suggest you don't. I suggest you don't. I suggest instead you stand up for our democracy. You stand up for the American people. You stand up for the republic. And you stand for justice. Because justice matters. All right, folks, I'm going to get back at it. Please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I very much look forward to talking with y'all again tomorrow.